Hey ladies and gents, I want to share 5 eFootball 2022 top tips to help you prepare for the game's launch, to give you a little advantage over your opponents and ensure you're future-proofed as the new features are added. My first tip is do not change or remap your dash or physical shield buttons. Dash will be on your right trigger and R2, and physical and shield buttons will be on your left trigger and L2. The reason being is that both of these will utilize the haptic feedback at some point, and only the triggers provide that functionality. The dash uses the haptic feedback from launch, but the haptic feedback for the shield and physical buttons will probably arrive sometime in the first patch in November. My second tip is do not hold down the dash or sprint buttons permanently, otherwise you're going to go flying past your opponents when defending, and you're going to be seeing this skidding animation far more than anyone else if you don't adjust the haptic feedback. Just gradually release the right trigger or R2 if you think your opponent is going to cut inside. So just to point out that a full press of the right trigger means your players will perform their fastest sprint, but it will take your player longer to slow down and turn. A partial press for a jog, and then a little bit for a fast walk, but then everything else in between. So just take that into consideration. It's very, very important that you understand how that dash and sprint button utilizes the haptic feedback. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of problems defending. Tip number 3, defending in this game is hard, guys. And whilst player selection is excellent, you're going to have to use your right analog stick more often to change players in certain scenarios. You're going to find that when a winger cuts in from the flank is going to be one of the most prime times to use it. Push the right analog stick in the direction of the player you wish to select from the player with the ball. Previously, you flicked the right analog stick from the player you had selected. So it's very important to notice that difference in change. But when you first play the game, you're going to see the targeting feedback pop up. We can turn that off later, but it gives you a good indication of how you're selecting players using the right analog stick. Tip number 4, change the pass support level to 3. Level 3, which is the least assisted and provides far better control over your passes, as I found the passing far too slow and you couldn't adjust the speed of it on the default, which is level 1 and the most assisted. FUMA fans, also known as the full manual fans, need to select level 4. And my final tip, the physicality button is also how you automatically apply pressure with your player that's selected. Use this to gradually close the distance between the player on the ball. Don't just hold it down and dive in, otherwise you're going to be exposed as your player will be left out of position with a simple 1-2 or maybe a little bit of skill. So try to maintain your team shape, but more on this on my upcoming defending tutorial. That's all from me, ladies and gents, for now. I'll share more info when the game drops. Stay tuned for more tips, tricks, tutorials and the best tactics on eFootball 2022. Until then, take care. Bye bye.